Hello and welcome. I'm recording this from a makeshift studio. So, your patience and forgiveness is appreciated as we all figure this out. Today, I wanted to offer a 30-minute teaching and practice of loving kindness meditation. And we'll start together just just making yourself comfortable, whether that's cross-legged on a cushion or sitting perhaps on your knees with your hips elevated underneath blocks or a pillow or a cushion. You can also sit comfortably in a chair with your feet on the floor if possible. Um, Perhaps a little bit forward in the chair if that's comfortable for you. And if sitting in any of those postures is not possible or preferred, you can also join standing. So, or even lying down. So lots of choices. The most important thing is to get yourself comfortable. And I'll begin by just talking a little bit about the loving kindness practice, and then we'll we'll transition into some practice time together. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the power that words can have in our experience of the world. So, to start with, we'll actually just start really with an embodied experience. I'm going to say a word, and what I'd like you to do is you can close your eyes if it's comfortable, but as I say the word, sense into what happens in your body. So, for example, if I say the word joy, 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 sensing if there's any felt sense, physical sense of that word joy, joy. Maybe you feel a tenderness or an opening in your heart center. Maybe you feel a softening or an increase in temperature in your belly. The exact experience may be totally different for you. And in fact, you may not feel anything at all. But my guess is that for some of you, there's a feeling of open heartedness or softening tenderness that arises when you hear the word joy. Now let's experience with a different word. Let's experience again, closing our eyes if that's comfortable, and hearing the word trouble. 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 What physical sensations arise in the body when you hear the word trouble? Trouble. For many of us, there's a clenching, a tightening in those heart or belly centers, maybe a folding in of energy, a bracing, a flinching. And you may not have those exact reactions. The exact sensations that you have might be similar or very different. All of that's okay, but just to say that our bodies respond physically to our words. And it's not just our words, it's our other thoughts, our emotions, all those kinds of things. Thich Nhat Hanh talked about the fact that we all have seeds in our minds and our hearts. And we have seeds of anger, and we have seeds of frustration, and we have seeds of joy, and we have seeds of love and kindness and tenderness, alongside jealousy and revenge, vengefulness. And all the seeds exist in the garden of our hearts and our minds, but what grows is that which we water. Neuroscientists, the field of neurobiology, has discovered over the last 10 or 20 years sort of an explanation for that parable from Thich Nhat Hanh, which is that, and they use the phrase, what fires together wires together, which is essentially saying those impulses which we repeat in our minds and in our hearts become stronger. The myelin sheath that wraps around those nerve centers that are associated with feelings of vengefulness or joy, frustration and anger, or happiness and peacefulness, the more we practice those feelings, the more those neurological pathways become stronger. So, loving kindness, the practice we're going to do today, is really about watering the seeds of love and kindness in your heart for yourself and for others. We'll say together as we practice particular words, particular phrases of well-wishing for safety, physical health, emotional well-being, and ease. And we'll try, as we say these phrases, to connect the words we're repeating with a physical experience, the felt experience of those words in our body. We're watering the seeds of love and kindness. We're firing those neurological pathways together so that they can get stronger. So the specific phrases I'll be using in the practice today, I'll be repeating 4 particular phrases, but there's variations. It's good to not be changing the phrases all the time, but it's okay to create phrases that resonate more strongly with you. So the 4 phrases that I will be using in our guided meditation today are: may I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be happy and free. And may I live my life with ease. And what I would encourage you to do is to experiment with what those particular phrases elicit in you as we practice together today. And then consider if there might be alternatives that would be helpful to you that follow that same intention and the same spirit of those. Okay? One thing I also want to share is that these words and phrases are not positive affirmations. You'll notice that they have a different format. And positive affirmations can be really helpful and can even be a part of meditation for people. An example of a positive affirmation is, I am healthy. You might say that phrase even when you're not healthy, with the hope that it brings about that reality. or with an intention that it sort of calls in the health that you've been seeking. Um, Loving kindness phrases are different because they don't say what isn't true, right? They don't say I'm healthy when you're actually quite sick. Um, what they say is they are phrases that are a wish for something that is universally desirable. So instead of I am healthy, we say may I be healthy. And if you don't feel connected at health in this moment, instead of highlighting the contrast between what you're saying and what is reality, these phrases are intended to remind you of the universal longing for health, to connect you with the wish, the tenderness of the wish for a universally desirable well being. So, the last thing I'll say before we really practice together is that at first this might feel mechanical or awkward. It might even bring up the opposite feelings of irritation or anger. Yeah, and if this happens, it's just especially well. It's also it's first important to know that it's common that people starting this practice for the first time may have that reaction. So nothing to be alarmed of there. It's also especially important to be patient and kind towards yourself and just allow whatever arises to be really received in a spirit of friendliness and kind affection. And really know that in its own time, even in the face of inner and outer difficulty, loving kindness can and will develop. Okay. So, taking a moment to settle in your seat or wherever you've chosen to practice right now. And to start with, just bringing to mind and checking in with your body about a really balanced posture. A place where your chest isn't leaning too far forward or sitting too far back, but it's balancing with ease over your hips. If you're able. And you might imagine also a slight tuck of the chin, allowing the back of the neck to lengthen. Any other adjustments that allow you to sit comfortably. The goal here is not to be rigid in your posture, but to be kind and gentle toward yourself, finding a posture that feels dignified, but also full of ease. And then we'll begin by just taking a few breaths. I invite you to breathe in, noticing any physical sensation of your breath, perhaps in the nostrils or the back of the throat. Perhaps Perhaps you feel an in-breath in your chest, expanding your lungs and your ribs, or even filling your belly. And then also giving that same curious, kind attention to the out breath. Now, just begin to, I invite you to scan through your body. Be noticing any places where there's tension. You don't have to change it in any way, but you can, if it feels welcome, you can invite a softening, a relaxing, an unfolding of any area where you do feel tension. Checking in the shoulders, in the hands, in the legs. And finally, now, bringing our attention to the heart and just noticing what is the quality of your heart right now. And I'm really inviting you to just feel into the space around your upper chest, below your shoulders, and below the collarbone. What's the physical sensation and the state of that space in your body? Maybe it's tight and bracing, or perhaps it's soft and open, maybe somewhere in between. If you don't clearly feel sensation in that area, you can explore also the area of the solar plexus, which is sort of the, the place where your chest and your belly meet, or even a little lower into your belly, and just sense if there's any sensation there. You don't need to do anything about it. You don't need to change it. You can simply gently witness the state of your heart. Now we'll begin with offering some loving kindness to someone in our lives who we have an easy relationship with. Might be a benefactor, a teacher or a relative, somebody who has been a loving figure in your life. It might be a closer relationship where you have an easy love for a person. It might also be a pet. It doesn't have to be somebody who's still alive. It doesn't have to be a being who is still alive. So it may be a pet or a relative who is no longer living. Some people also choose somebody who they don't personally know, but who's been a source of inspiration for them. It could be Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama, Martin Luther King. Somebody for whom you have a warm and affectionate, relatively uncomplicated relationship with. And it doesn't need to be the perfect person. So choose somebody. Somebody that pops into your mind. And together, we'll wish for our friendly benefactor or beloved person. May you be healthy and strong. May you be healthy and strong. May you be healthy and strong. And as you say those phrases, you may even feel the physical sensation of that wish in your body. Maybe it shows up in your heart, in your gut, somewhere. May you be healthy and strong. May you be safe and protected. May you be safe and protected. May you be safe and protected. May you be happy and free. May you be happy and free. May you be happy and free. And if you find your mind is wandering and you're thinking about something that happened in the past or something that is going to be happening in the future, whatever has taken you away from this practice, the moment you realize you've drifted off is a moment of mindfulness. It's a beautiful thing. And you can simply return to where we are. May you be happy and free. May you live your life with ease. May you live your life with ease. May you live your life with ease. May you be healthy and strong. May you be healthy and strong. May you be safe and protected. May you be safe and protected. May you be happy and free. May you live your life with ease. And now, for a few moments, we'll direct these same phrases to ourselves. You can direct them to yourself as you are now at this very moment. If it feels appropriate, you can also direct them to yourself as a young child. Imagine yourself at an age that feels comfortable for you and direct these wishes towards yourself at that age. And if neither of those feel possible or comfortable just now, another option is to imagine the benefactor or the friendly person who you just sent your well wishes towards. You can imagine sending, you can imagine them sending the well wishes to you. So check into which of those approaches might feel the best to you right now. Choosing one. May I be healthy and strong. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be safe and protected. May I be happy and free. And if it at any point feelings arise that are uncomfortable, or maybe even the opposite of the words you're saying, that's okay. You may want to try to make a little space for those emotions here. If anger or fear, sadness comes up, you can gently even bow your head to it. Welcome it. If the emotion becomes particularly intense, you can also take care of yourself by opening your eyes, noticing the world around you, or connecting with physical sensation, your seat on the chair, your hands on your lap, your feet on the floor. You may also be having a pleasant experience, and that's also welcome. So continuing with our phrases, may I be happy and free. May I be happy and free. May I live my life with ease. May I live my life with ease. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be happy and free. May I live my life with ease. In the last few moments, returning your attention to the body, scanning through the head, shoulders, torso, chest, heart, tummy, hips, legs, arms. Just noticing any sensation there. Noticing also the quality of your heart right now, whether you sense that in the actual region of your heart or in your belly, in your solar plexus, just sensing what, if anything, has changed about the quality of your heart right now. Just a moment, I'll ring a bell to signal the end of our practice. And you may open your eyes whenever you feel comfortable. So I invite you to experiment with this practice to see if it's useful for you. If the phrases that we used feel a little distant, a little out of reach for you in some way, you're welcome to experiment with phrases that resonate more strongly for you. And I'll offer two such adjustments just to give you some idea of how you might accommodate yourself by creating a phrase that resonates. Um, so, one alternate phrase is, "May I experience moments of peace and happiness." Another alternate phrase is, "May I be healthy and strong. And if that is not possible, may I accept my limitations with grace." So you can experiment and play with that a little bit. And if this is something you plan to practice more regularly, I'd like to offer a suggestion for you to try to practice loving kindness daily for 10 to 15 minutes, either towards yourself or someone you love easily. Really practicing with those relationships, the relationship with yourself or the relationship with someone who you have an easy affection for first, for a couple of months even. For those of you that are familiar with the practice, you'll know that we later can introduce neutral people, people who we don't have any particular relationship with. And we can introduce people who we have some difficulty or conflict with. And eventually we can practice loving kindness for all beings. But to start with, it's really wise and kind to offer these well wishes first to yourself and someone who you love easily, to really awaken and cultivate the strong roots of your tender heart. So wishing you all much health, much safety, much happiness, and looking forward to practicing with you again.